Alright, what's going on, guys? So we are back at it with our second month of the Brewmasters Challenge in $30 Budget Vintage. What that means is that we give you, the community, a card that you must build around, and you must do your darndest to build around it. We then take the decks trimmed to our top 4 or 5 that we think are the best. Then we have you, the community, and also us, the not community. Well, we're the community too. The community and the mods then vote on which decks they think are the coolest, or which deck, rather. And then the winner gets the coveted Brewmaster title, as well as usually something. This time it's entry into our Win a Taiga event, which has been rescheduled and is being relocated. Some stuff went down having to do with like capacity and store availability and things like that. Don't worry about it too much, but we're looking to get that locked in pretty soon. We will let you guys know with at least 2 weeks notice, and it should be by March 25th at the latest. I see no reason why it wouldn't be done by then, but who knows, crazy things happen, right? Bear with us, we appreciate it. Yep. So anyway, this is one of the 4 decks submitted for the Brewmaster Challenge that we thought was super cool. And I don't know if we credit the names of people up front or if we do it after the votes are in, so I'm not going to say the name yet. But you know who you are, and your deck is sweet, and your naming is sweet. Because this deck is built around Elder-Deep Fiend and Magma Opus, and the name of the deck is, get ready, get ready, get ready, Oct-Opus. Oct-Opus. Because it's one of those, and it's one of these. Oct-Opus. So this deck is this deck's trying to leverage Torrential Gearhulk to flashback Magma Opus, right? We've seen that with Mizzix's Mastery in whatever that arena format is. And it's trying to leverage Torrential Gearhulk to sacrifice to cast an Elder-Deep Fiend to get even more value off of your Magma Opus situation. We also have Tolarian Terror as kind of a discount Deep Fiend enabler, right? If you play a 1 or 2 mana Terror, which, by the way, speaking of the price of Terror, mana cost-wise, look at the dollar amount. It's going up. This card used to be free. I'm pretty sure it's Pauper that's doing that. There's a blue-black Tolarian Terror list. Kind of upsetting. But discounted Terror lets us cast even more discounted Elder-Deep Fiend and keep the pressure on by tapping down our opponent's permanents. Pretty, I would say, fairly standard blue-red spellsy graveyard matter list. Consider it's kind of a budget investment at $2.60 for the playset, but it used to be a whole lot worse. They used to be over $1 each. Lightning Bolt, Otherworldly Gaze. This card, I think you're allowed to play this card. Okay, it's one of those cards where it doesn't really do anything. That's it. That's my point. It doesn't really do anything. It doesn't really do anything, but it also does a lot, right? It enables your graveyard to be full. It puts Magma Opus in the graveyard. It discounts Tolarian Terror. It fuels Treasure Cruise. Honestly, I think this is good in most blue-red spellsy things. I've thought about it for Tolarian Terror. I think it made the cut in multiple of our lists for the Brewmaster Challenge this month. I think it's good with Frantic Inventory and Accumulated Knowledge. I think it's good with Arclight Phoenix. If you told me this card was stone unplayable, I'd say not always. I think it's playable sometimes. 1 Spell Pierce to tilt your enemies. Thought Scour, same as Consider. Really turns on our graveyard synergies. Counterspell and Mana Leak, we got to interact a little bit. Looks like Counterspell was selected over the... 4th Mana Leak instead of 4th Counterspell for budget reasons, probably. Big score. I like that. It loots away your Magma Opus if it's in your hand. It also creates 2 treasure tokens, which takes you up to hardcast Magma Opus in 1 additional turn. So you have to cast this and make 2 land drops. No, hold on. Yes, 2 land drops. Or it gets you to Torrential Gearhulk even if you don't have a land drop. So big score, discard Magma Opus, turn 5, miss my land drop, and still get to do the thing. That's awesome. The mana base is cool. Notably, From a budget perspective, we can't fit Sulphur Falls in. That's okay. You don't always get to fit Sulphur Falls in. In the games that we do play, and yes, this is a gameplay video, Wandering Fumarolles looked really good, actually. They seemed really important for me to be able to maybe win a game if I wasn't bad. Temples were fine as well. Sideboard seems reasonable. Burning Hands, I'm gonna admit I don't really know what we're covering with this card. I'm sure there's a great reason. I just don't know what it is off the top of my head. It's been kind of a long day. I'm recording this after I recorded the gameplay. So I'm not going to spoil the gameplay, but I'm going to talk about it. This was our first attempt at recording, let's say, solo Twitch content creator Magic the Gathering gameplay. So like think Aspiring Spike or old channel Fireball videos if you're not a Zoomer like me. So I got one of my friends to pretend to be a random Magic Online opponent, and then we didn't talk, and I talked to a camera instead, because that's what the future is. Don't hang out with your friends, make content. I will say I was a little distracted by just being on Magic Online and dialoguing in that way. I hadn't done that before. So I played pretty badly. There's some punts, and I made the deck look really bad. So apologies to the creator. I know who you are, and you know I know who you are. Your deck is better than I made it look. Also, it was against Mono Black. Mono Black's just a good deck. So ignore the fact that the gameplay was a little bit stinky, and just revel in the fact that you can hear me monologue for an additional 20 minutes while clicking. But no, seriously, I think I'm going to try to start making more Magic Online content like this. I think I'm going to try to simulate some leagues going forward. Let me know what you guys think of this format, as opposed to like me and my roommate playing at the kitchen table where you just see our beautiful hands from the top down. Let me know how this strikes your fancy, and if you want to see more content like this. I'm probably going to try to shout out at least the other 3 decks that we really like from this challenge. I don't know if we'll all get gameplay videos, because we're kind of already running behind on getting the voting process started. So this may be the only gameplay. I think going forward I'm going to try to do 2 of the Brewmaster decks featured in this, because I was really hoping that someone would play their Seance list at a local event, and Roby was the closest. He brought his Esper Dungeon deck the week after the Brewmaster challenge, except he cut all 4 Seances because he's a coward. That's right, Roby, you're a coward. No, I'm kidding. So I do want to get these decks just like showing off what they can do, which I didn't do a great job of today. That's okay. I'll be better at Magic the next time I record one of these. With that, I am just going to roll it into the Magic Online gameplay. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being a part of this community. I can't say enough how exciting it is to see us grow in this way. And that's it. That's all I have to say. I'm done. Get me out of here. All right. Hopefully I remember to make a intro somewhere else so we can just get right into it. We're playing Oct-Opus, and I think we're good to go. I'll be on the play. Let me find chat here. There's some stuff. How do you pop out chat? How do you pop out chat, truly? What? Alright, 1 second. I don't know where Modo chat is. I'm ready. Good luck, have fun. So the intent here is for us to be simulating Magic Online style content. And okay, we're on the play. Alright, we're just going to jump in. I'll tell you about it when I record the intro after this. I'm going to mulligan this hand. It looks bad. This hand seems potentially playable. Thank you, Moto Sound Effects. I'll keep and I'll bottom... Dude, I want to bottom this Deep Fiend, honestly. That's not what we're here to do, though. Okay. I play a land, I skip the turn. So I think I'll mention this when I record it, when I record the intro. But at some point, myself or my opponent are certainly going to F6 and miss something we meant to do. Like, we're going to have a Moto fail because we're not Moto players. Like, it's taking all of my brain power to not F6 through the turn right now. So I'm going to go ahead and cast this Consider. Do I want third land? I think I'm going to just draw third land naturally. Like, I think I'm going to draw it in my next 2 draw steps. And I need some gas. And I need red mana, so I don't need blue mana. Okay, see, look, I said I'm going to draw that land. And now we're going to hold up Mana Leak, and we're going to get beat to death by a Knight of the Ebon Legion. So this card is kind of a staple of black aggressive strategies. Actually, I don't know if Jem played it. And I don't know if Holden played it either. I know it's in Chris's like mono black aggro list. I don't know if it makes the cut in like the mid-range or slightly bigger versions. I will say I sure am taking 1 damage here. And it pumps to get Death Touch for 3 mana, which means that it blocks profitably any of my creatures. So I think we're going to need to Lightning Bolt those. I'm going to have to let a second one go, I think. Okay, I like the Lightning Bolt, but I also do not like the Lightning Bolt. I'll give you guys one guess why I kind of like that. Okay. Let me turn off my auto yields. I don't know if I have them. Now, honestly, I would really hate it if he pumped here. And I suspect that my opponent is just going to pump here in the face of 3 blue mana and Archmage's Charm not being in our format. Because pumping here gets 4 damage across and then gets 2+1/+1 counters. Yeah. I think I needed to counterspell that one. This is really not good. So forgive my play a little bit. This is kind of new to me. Interesting. I guess I could have done some stuff differently here. I could have done some stuff differently. That's okay. We're a new content creator. We're allowed to be bad. Here we are seeing the power of mono black to get underneath counter spells. Notably, these knights are going to grow out of bolt range. If he just pumps again, yeah, this is awful. Counter spells are not where you want to be. I probably should have thought harder about countering that second knight. But that's okay. There's some mental load coming from recording this style. I don't think I can cast this. So bad. Alright, GG's. We'll go to sideboard. I will say oops in chat. I was mostly bad. Okay. So Sweltering Suns catches Nighthawk Scavenger. It catches small Knight of the Ebon Legions. It catches Turox. I think even if they're kicked, I think Turox a 2/1. So I think Sweltering Suns are coming in. A Braid, potentially, just to be additional. I don't see any green creatures, so we're not going to do that. I truthfully forgot this deck had Magma Opus. Okay. So I know I want my 3 Sweltering Suns. I suspect... Sorry, my opponents... We're talking in Discord right now because we don't have Moto chat for some reason. And we're talking about how my play was bad. I had a leak and didn't think enough about what would happen to me. LOL. Okay. Man, I feel like I'm a bad person if I side out the Elder-Deep Fiends. It's just hard because it is card disadvantage, you know what I mean? I'll trim one. I know I'm a hater for doing that. I love Deep Fiend. We'll trim one there. The counterspells kind of look god-awful, weirdly enough. I think so much stuff just gets under them. This is fine. Alright, we're on the play this time. I think we're not going to mulligan, and we're not going to make a poor decision. I will... Why was there a die roll? Maybe it just says that you won the die roll. Okay, how do we feel about this hand? I feel some emotions about it. I'll mulligan. Oh, this looks respectable. Keep... I think I'm going to draw lands naturally. If that makes sense. I just want to have a lot of quality. And I maybe didn't need to scry here, because now I don't... I kind of don't want that land. I don't want to flood out, and I think that my lightning bolts deal with most things. But now I think what's going to happen is I'm going to have to consider for a land, so I probably should have just kept that one on top. Okay. Okay, Dark Ritual. I feel like Lightning Bolt covers this pretty well. Interesting. I don't know how to... I really don't know how to get chat. Okay. So does he play out some stuff? Yeah, I respect that. You know, Dark Ritual's in your deck. You have to do those things sometimes. Like, it's not even like it was bad. You know, it's what the deck does. It puts pressure on. So if I play Mountain here, I save 2 life, essentially. I think that's worth it. And I will say, I'm kind of glad now that I... Oh, gosh, he's come back. I think I need to take the pressure off. Because right now, he's pretty far from being on 1 card in hand. He's also pretty far from 3 mana, right? Because we would take at least 2 hits from that if we didn't bolt it. So the bolt's kind of gaining us 4 life and dealing with a threat. I think it's fine. I would love for him to not do anything. Okay, kind of punished. I don't mind the Sweltering Suns draw there, because depending on what he develops here, we can either cycle it or not. If he develops a 3-drop, I'll probably just Lightning Bolt. And then depending on my draw step, I'll either cycle the Sweltering Suns on his end step or save it to clear up a couple Dread Wanderers. I think we're getting to the point where I'm really scared of kicked Turok. Okay, got him on that one. I'm not sure Dreams is a main deck card, by the way. So the good thing about the 2 threats being Dread Wanderers... Let me think for a second. I don't know if I have any looting in my deck. I do. I have Big Score. I have Big Score. That can resolve for sure. And honestly, the Wandering Fumarole covers the little guys really, really nicely. Like it would force removal. So I'm going to go ahead and cycle this here. I'm not particularly worried about the 2/1s. And I don't see any reason not to bolt this. Yeah, I don't see any reason not to bolt it. Alright, we play our land out. We have Fumarole activation up. The Gearhulk's an unknown. So there's a chance that our opponent doesn't play into a potential counterspell. Let me reposition this a little bit. Okay, that hits for 2 reasons. I take back everything I said about... Okay. Oh, just getting hellbent to cast your things. But yeah, I take back everything negative I said about Dreams of Steel and Oil. The card's incredible. There goes my Gearhulk. So if we play it, it's better for a top deck Gearhulk against him to Turok. If we don't play it, it's better for Big Score specifically. How does Big Score read? As an additional cost, if he plays a Hem to Turok, he's not buying back a guy. So I'm relatively happy with that. How many Big Score are in my list? 3? I'm going to pass. Because I have 3 Gearhulk and I have 3 Big Score. Alright, I'm starting to regret that decision. I think I probably should have played that land. Alright, that's going to take over the game. Okay, that's a Fumarole. So he'll level up Sleeper once. It'll become a 2/2. Then he won't have enough to make it a 3/3 and draw a card. So it's not out of bolt range yet, so I have 1 draw step to get to a Gearhulk. Yeah. So here, I think he's going to attack for 2 and just buy back a Dreadwanderer. I hope he doesn't forget that it's sorcery only. I'll message. Don't forget Wander. He's going to remember. I'm not going to say it. I don't need to disrespect my opponent like that. I should have blocked there. I'm sorry. I was really just paying attention to Discord. I'm kind of all over the place on this. This is the first time we've done this. But at the same time, maybe it's fine. No, I think I 100% wanted to trade there. 6, 7. Okay, we're 1 land drop away from casting this. So I guess now I'm glad I didn't trade my Wandering Fumarole. I look kind of smart in front of the viewers. I will say, I think eventually we're going to get a little more focused on playing tight and playing well and all that good stuff. But I think for Brewmaster's challenges and specifically the first time we're recording one, I'm not going to stress it too much. Yeah. So luckily Opus does do 4 damage. If I do get the land, then I do need to cast the Opus before he untaps. Oh, that's so bad for me. Oh, that's good for me. Okay, great. So I think we're going to have to... We have to kill this and deal with this in another way, I think. Yeah. I just need to draw 2 cards, and I need that to die. Deal 4. Bop, bop. Can I do... I can do... Okay. Yes. And then I'll draw Gearhulk. And then I'll draw Gearhulk. Then I'll draw Gearhulk. Alright. That's a magic card. So if nothing else, that will buy me potentially 3 points of life by fogging the Nighthawk Scavenger, and we're actually on hardcast territory. I do apologize that the first game was so abysmal. I hope that you guys don't take that into account when you're voting for decks, because this deck's super cool, and hopefully I can play some of the other ones and also play them really badly to even it out. Okay. We don't mind Dread Wanderers. We don't mind that. Don't hem me? Good. 3. So, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to Thought Scour myself here, because if I get a Gearhulk, I'll want to flashback a Magma Opus, maybe on his upkeep. I don't care about that. I'm just going to flash in the Gearhulk after he attacks to eat the Dread Wanderer or something. Does that change anything? I do need an upkeep stop, right? Oh, darn it. See, remember that thing I told you about Modo and how we were going to mess stuff up? I didn't have my Elder-Deep Fiend stop set. Am I auto-yielding? So I would have tapped down 3 lands and Scavenger. Okay. Seven, 8. That's really unfortunate. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I am going to go ahead and lose my other deep friend. But I'm on a pretty reasonable clock. I need 1 of 3 Gearhulks. I need a Delve spell, which I have 2 of. Or maybe I just have 1 Delve spell. I just have a Cruise. Even a Tolarian Terror would not be the worst thing in the world, but it wouldn't necessarily help. I'm going to hold that to loot. Okay, pro-white, so I have both of his ground creatures covered. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 10 mana. So if I do play the Shivan Reef, then I have 2 Fumaroles up. So activate 1 Fumarole, block here. Activate 1 Fumarole, block here. So I get in for 5. Is that the joke? I'm kind of opening myself up to removal, though. Right? Because it turns a top deck Defile into deal 2 damage, which isn't the end of the world. I am thankful for the Fumaroles during deck construction. They're a pretty nice answer to the Dread Wanderers and the Turoks. It makes me feel a little more stable going to a long game like this. Okay, that's fine. It doesn't matter. This isn't actually about... Yeah, that's fine. It's just in the air, right? Just 4 in the air. Yeah. And I think the brief pause we saw there was probably the opponent considering leaving Nighthawk Scavenger back to trade with Elder-Deep Fiend. But I think they correctly identified that that's not super important because they need to close it out, and I'm not in any danger of racing with the way things are currently. They're gaining 4 life a turn. I'm attacking for 5. They have chump blockers. So I think we're kind of on Gearhulk, Opus, Treasure Cruise, or Bust. Casting that just to keep it out of his hand for Dread Wanderer, basically. I'm not going to sandbag anything at this point. I guess it would be relevant for forcing something through Gearhulk plus Counterspell. It's annoying. We do have to play it, though. We're going to see big score on top, and it's going to make me mad. Okay. So now we gotta leave. We actually have to leave Elder-Deep Fiend back or we're dead on board. And we can still draw live to the same cards. We're looking for Gearhulk, we're looking for Magma Opus, and we're looking for Treasure Cruise to find one of the 2 things. Defile would beat us as well. I feel like there's no Defile. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. He actually exiled my Elder-Deep Fiend from the graveyard, so that got a little bit smaller. This doesn't have sneaky reach, right? Okay. No, don't pay costs. Magma Opus chaining still gets us out. It doesn't really change the situation too much. If the next card is Magma Opus, I'll delete the YouTube channel. Okay. And that's going to be the match. We'll concede. GG's to my opponent in Discord. Huh. What did they say back? You know, maybe we could have stabilized if we didn't miss casting that Magma Opus. Or sorry, not the. I'm sorry. I'm a little all over the place. I think that if we didn't miss casting our Elder-Deep Fiend on upkeep that one turn, I think maybe we could have bought enough time, right? Because we would have ripped the big score. I'm pretty sure we would have been... We wouldn't have gotten Turoked that turn. So I think we would have actually had 2 Elder-Deep Fiends. We would have had some additional tempo. So sorry about that misplay kind of costing the game. I'll be honest, I really would re-record this video. Except for the fact that it's 8:45 at night and I just got off work at 6:30. I kind of don't want to. Is really the main takeaway. I'm going to try to get this slammed up tonight. So thank you to... So I think right now we're not saying the names of the people that submitted the Brewmaster decks until the end, you know, for, you know, prevent voter fraud or whatever. So shout out to the person who made this deck. I do think it's really cool. I actually think it's a lot better than it looked on here. I had a pretty rough keep game 1. Then I had a pretty egregious misplay due to just having a little pea brain. And then game 2, we had a moto misplay to not playing Elder-Deep Fiend. I'm not going to stress any of that too much right now because really I just wanted to do this as kind of proof of concept, get some moto content going. I don't know if I'm going to get to all 4 of the top Brewmaster decks this week, just because it's Tuesday and I think we're already behind on that. But going forward, I'd like to at least pick 2 of them to show off. Maybe not against Mono Black, because sometimes that deck just does stuff and like makes you discard your hand, and then you don't really do your thing. So maybe we find like a nice mid-rangey, uninteractive deck that we can just kind of like dunk on. But that's all I got for now. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for everyone who competed in the Brewmaster Challenge. I have a pretty fun idea for a little intro to these sections. I don't know if I'm going to get it done by the time I upload this first one, but who knows? Maybe it'll come in a future video. But thanks for everyone who tuned in. Let me know what you think about this style of content. It's kind of a sneak peek. I'm going to try to start running Moto leagues where basically I scam some of my compatriots into willingly signing up to be the non-speaking, non-feeling Moto opponent, and I just show up with a deck, I monologue, and I play the deck that I choose against 5 different opponent decks in a simulated league. So kind of like get the typical Magic style of content going. The reason I want to do that is because, well, first off, it's going to be a little easier for me to make than the like paper top-down camera pointed at my table kind of thing. So those take a lot of coordination, and I have to have physical decks. And additionally, I personally really like watching Magic content while I fold laundry or like unload the dishwasher, like those kind of chores. And I feel like this one-person monologuing style works a little bit better with that than the 2-person back-to-back banter. I also want to increase my viewership by forming parasocial relationships with my viewers. So if you could do me a favor and feel like I'm your friend, even if you don't know me in real life. I'm really trying to farm out those parasocial relationship views. That's all I got. I'm going to stop talking. Bye, everybody.